Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. My name is Nina Polson, and I am one of the organizers of Speaker's Corner, a program which has come about through the efforts of individuals and organizations too many to recite. It is my pleasure to welcome you today to the third weekly session. Speaker's Corner is a fresh air experience, offering Calgarians an opportunity to address topical issues, exchange ideas, and enjoy the stimulation of fresh perspectives. Speaker's Corner is a time-honored tradition practiced in many democratic centres around the world, most notably at Hyde Park in London, England. We are indeed blessed to live in a free and democratic country where freedom of expression is taken for granted. At Speaker's Corner, you have the right to participate in civic life by speaking your mind on topics about which you may feel passionate. You also have the right to just listen, enjoy, and evaluate the ideas that come forward. At Speaker's Corner, you will be confronted with points of view diametrically opposed to your own. You will be offered the opportunity to challenge both an opposing view as well as your own assumptions about what is true and what is right. It is well to keep an open mind because we know that the heresy of today becomes the orthodoxy of tomorrow, and the orthodoxy of today becomes the heresy of tomorrow. Galileo was excommunicated by the Catholic Church for the heresy of proposing that it is the earth which rotates around the sun as opposed to the other way around. The notion that women should not have the right to vote or own property was the prevailing ethos even in North America until much later. Because no one has a monopoly on truth, you are encouraged to be respectful of the speakers who come forward and the points of view that are presented. One of the admirable qualities of Canadian society is that we have developed a way of being able to disagree without being disagreeable. As a society, we advance through respectful dialogue and debate. This need not exclude passionate and heated debate. It should just be respectful. You are encouraged to attack the idea and not the speaker. During these Sunday afternoon sessions, we will try to find subjects that are current, topical, and controversial, kicked off by knowledgeable speakers who can present a point of view. As a speaker, you will have the complete and unfettered freedom to advocate and to criticize, subject only to the following 5 exceptions. Number 1, please. Slander and defamation, which amount to falsehoods that injure the reputation of individuals, contravene the law, will not be tolerated. Statements or rants which offend against the hate laws of Canada will not be allowed. While the odd contextuality appropriate, expletive will be tolerated. A speech that begins to tend toward vulgarity and obscenity will be cut off. If you start talking about matters which are unconnected to the topic, which is the focus of the discussion at hand, the moderator will have the right to cut you off. Lastly, once you make your point and thereafter start to get repetitive, the moderator will have the right to cut you off. Every effort is being made to select weekly topics for discussion and debate that are topical, interesting, and relevant. We will also strive to attract 1 or 2 knowledgeable speakers to kick off each session, ideally with opposing ideas. After the introductory speeches, it is open mic. People can simply step up to the mic to comment, criticize, advocate, and offer fresh perspectives. Today, we would first like to thank Clay O'Flanagan for being our sound man. I'm also told he has a great voice, so we may get him up to do a tune or 2. Today, I would like to bring to some light to some questions that are being asked by the public. Number 1, there has been a great deal of money donated to various agencies for flood relief. Many are asking, where is all of that money going? Who regulates how the money gets spent? And exactly how much goes to administration costs, and how much is given to the flood relief victims. Why are there so many still struggling after the flood if so much money has been donated? Where is all the money? Many people are asking. Oh, Aaliyah, could you bring me my purse up, please? Many people are asking many other things. I think we have some things that we have to debate in several different areas, and I'll read you an article about one of them as to what people are asking about. I have an article presented in the Calgary Sun by economist Hugh Grant. It's an article in regards to the doctor's pay. Economist Hugh Grant of the U of C presents his report on doctor compensation, which he blames for ballooning healthcare costs. Caption says, think tank says problem with the healthcare system is doctors. Government's weakness in wielding the scalpel on doctor pay has eroded the viability of the healthcare system, says a University of Calgary think tank. In the past decade, physician compensation has gone up by 30% in Canada and vaulted from 3.5 times the average Canadian's earnings to nearly 4.5 times, said Dr. Hugh Grant. Much of the discussion of growing medical costs has been dominated by an aging population and costly pharmaceuticals. We want to come back to the issue of 20 years ago, to the costs of physicians, which has been a real driver of healthcare budgets, said Grant, an economist with the University of Winnipeg. From 2000 to 2011, average doctor pay in the country increased from $180,000 to $250,000. A reflection of provincial government's reluctance to take a hard line on those pay levels, said Grant. Governments have been very standoffish. They've left it up to the physicians to figure out how the fee schedule should change, said Grant, co-author of the report, Unhealthy Pressure: How Physicians' Pay Demands Put the Squeeze on Provincial Healthcare Budgets. In Alberta, doctors' gross pay in 2011 reached $460,000, the second highest in Canada after only Ontario. At the same time, he said, use of doctor services hasn't increased, while the concern over physician shortages has been highly exaggerated. In Alberta, basic physician pay comprises about 6% of the healthcare budget. He said public opinion and cash-strapped government policies are starting to push back against physician pay. A recent Alberta deal imposed a 3-year compensation freeze on doctors, followed by a 5% hike and lump sum payment, said Grant. If they're going to maintain their autonomy, physicians will have to be more responsible, he says. Grant also noted Quebec put its physicians on salary, ensuring their costs are lower. Alberta doctors' pay hasn't deviated from the Consumer Price Index, and any increases are needed to pay for overhead that gobbles up to 60% of fees, said Dr. Michael Gouffry, president of the Alberta Medical Association. Doctors' pay has stayed consistent the same percent, 15 or 16%, but drugs and hospital costs are hugely increasing. He accused Grant of using old data that doesn't truly reflect the status of Alberta's physicians. So now many of us are asking questions. What is really happening with our medical system, and is it really working for us? Alberta's doctors are the highest paid, or one of the highest paid in Canada. Are we honestly getting our money's worth? What role does the College of Physicians and Surgeons really have in regulating doctors? There seems to be a split between the population. Half of us feel we are getting good doctoring, and the other half say it sucks. Many say doctors seem to have taken on the persona of gods and are not listening to their patients. Many say death is in the doctor's hands. What do we think? Then we have another that we're being asked. Why is Canada such a passive country, I am asked? Why do we not stand together on issues that really affect our lives? Why do we not gather in large quantities to voice our opinion about the things dearest to our hearts? Why do we just let everything slide off our shoulders, one asks? Why do we all sit around the kitchen table complaining about our government, our politicians, our health care, plus everything else in between, yet we do nothing to try and stop it? Have we all forgotten that there is strength in numbers, that we can make change if we all stand together? Where have we gone? Speaker's Corner is here to provide us with the ability to stand up and speak. So let's speak. Let's get it out there. I again would like to thank everybody for coming down today. And I'm going to now, just shortly, invite Aaliyah Bailey up to discuss some of the questions she has been asked of late. And then we will open the stage to the audience for discussion on the questions brought forth. So I think today we're here, we have many people asking about our medical system, our doctors, the pay that they get. We have many people asking about flood relief and where all of the money is going for the flood relief. And we have many people asking why it is that we aren't standing up against the things that we feel so wrong, that we sit at home and we complain about all the time. We just don't do anything to bring it forth other than complaining in our own kitchen. So I do hope you're having a wonderful day today, and I do hope to have everyone up on the stage with something that they have to discuss in regards to the topics. And I will now invite Aaliyah Bailey up to discuss some of the topics that she has been asked to bring forth. Thank you.
If anyone has any concerns or topics they'd like to come up and discuss with us, things that they'd like to hear on Speaker's Corner, concerns they're having, things they would like to see, please let us know. We're in our early stages and we really want to make this about you, the people, and your views and your concerns. And again, thank you for coming out today, and we hope to see some of you down next week. Not the best efforts. I'm not sure where my finger is. Here we go. Okay, so next week's discussion is going to be, does the ousting of Morsi in Egypt advance or hinder democratic and social political development in Egypt? And we're hoping to get some interesting speakers coming. Hoping to get some interesting speakers to come down on this topic. We have a lot of pros and cons on what people feel, and we're going to give a little history on what this actually means, what's going on in Egypt, and what it all stems from. And we hope to see you then at 1:30 next weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.